everyone, it's Gojira Prime here with a little video, and today we are taking a look at Studio Series Grimlock. Now, this Grimlock was released a fair few years ago now, and was the first of the Dinobots released under the Studio Series lineup. And I was very pleased when they started doing these because I had been after a full set of Dinobots for many, many years, and was very happy that they were producing a new line of them. So I've already taken a look at Swoop, but now we'll take a look at the king of the Dinobots, Grimlock himself. So as you can see here, Grimlock turns into a very outdated, let's take that off actually, a very outdated version of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, if you are wondering why Grimlock looks the way he does here and not, say, like a T-Rex from Jurassic Park, the reason is very simple. Back in the 1980s, we didn't know what we know about dinosaurs today, and so people thought Tyrannosaurus Rex stood upright like this with its tail pulled out along behind it. Now, I'm very pleased that Hasbro decided when they were doing this series of Dinobots that they did stick with that original look, even though it is a completely outdated look for how dinosaurs actually were, because it just makes sense, because it's meant to be a representation of the G1 Dinobots. I'm sure at some point when they redo the Dinobots again, they'll do them in much more accurate dinosaur modes. But for this version, for the SS line, they stuck with the original 1980s look, which I think is a good thing at the end of the day. So just to take a look at him in dinosaur mode, and then we'll take a look at him in robot mode, and then we'll do some size comparisons. So in his robot mode, Grimlock's quite large, actually. He takes up a fair bit of space on the table. There's lots of nice molded detail all over his body, as you can see here. You've got the nice Autobot logo at the front. Just spin him around there. And he also looks a lot like his original G1 toy did back in the day. So now, even in this mode, he does have quite a bit of articulation. In fact, I think he's probably got the best articulation out of any of the Dinobots from the lineup. The head is on a joint here, so you can turn it from side to side like that, and it will go up and down as well. And you can even open up his mouth like so to show all his little teeth off. And if you wanted to, you can try and get a blast effect in there. Got some very nice blue eyes on there as well. The arms are on a ball joint, so they can actually spin all the way around if you wanted to. You just got to try and, well, they can spin around a good fair way like that. You've also got articulation on the elbow there, but there is no hand articulation, but that's not really a problem for this toy. So you've got quite a good range of motion in the arms. The legs for the dinosaur mode, which are actually his arms in robot mode, can go all the way back. You can more or less get a full 360 out of them like that. So there you go, full 360 motion. They do bend as well, so you can bend his legs. That one's a little bit stiff. There we go. So if you want, you can bend his legs a little bit more like that. And then his little robot toes do move as well, but you're not going to really get much articulation out of those things. So for dinosaur mode, he does have a fair bit of articulation. I'm just going to stand him back up so he's on a straight leg there, so then he's at his highest point. So you can even have him like that if you wanted to. You got to get more. There we go. But if I have him in dinosaur mode, I tend to have him like that. Now, previously, as you did see, I had the gun. He does also come with a little wheelie figure, which can sit on him, but I don't know where the wheelie figure is. On the gun, you've got these little two pegs of plastic there, which will fit into these holes on the top of his tail. So if you wanted, you can just store his gun in there. If I can get mine to go in, it would help, but I can't. So you can store the gun in there as well. He doesn't come with any other weapon accessories, unfortunately. Now I'm just going to put him there, and I'm just going to do a quick height comparison with the SS86 Optimus Prime mold. And as you can see, even in dinosaur mode, he is a little bit larger than Prime in height, and definitely longer than Prime in width. And from the front there as well. So it's even in dinosaur mode, he is quite sizable. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pause the video, get him transformed, and then we'll do some size comparisons. Okay, so here we have Grimlock in his robot mode, and it is a nice, big, chunky robot mode. The design for this is pretty much spot on for how Grimlock looked in the original series cartoon and movie. You've got some very nice details all over the figure. So we'll start off with the head sculpt. Actually, I'll start off with one complaint, and this is my only complaint for this figure, is that this dark chest piece here is so dark you actually struggle to see the Autobot logo on the front of his chest. I think that some people did come up with a way of fixing this, or there was a modification that was made for this. I've never gotten that, but that's my one complaint about this guy, is that you can't see the Autobot logo through his chest piece. And I don't know why they decided to do that. But anyway, the head sculpt is spot on for Grimlock from the G1 TV series. It's on a ball joint, so it's got a full 360. You can look down a little bit, and that's about it. No light piping for the figure. It is just a piece of blue plastic on the black head there. Chest section is molded in a very nice gold, reminiscent of the character from the original series as well. And then you got all the same details that you had when he was in dinosaur mode or T-Rex mode. And he just looks really, really good. The Tyrannosaurus head folds in the back. Just fold his head down a little bit more like that. And then you've got the chest section for the dinosaur, which folds up at the back as well like that too. So all in all, this is exactly how Grimlock looked really in the series. And he does look absolutely fantastic. The arms, which were the legs for the dinosaur in T-Rex mode, again, you've got that full range there. If you move the backpack out of the way, you can still kind of get a full 360. You've got motion at the elbow there as well. No hand articulation, but it will spin around for you if you want it. It's just molded plastic on there. The legs will go all the way forward, all the way back. If you move his arm out the way, you can get a decent side spread too. You've got movement at the knee, and you do have some foot and ankle movement here. So you can get him into some really good poses if you so wanted to. So, size comparison wise, how does he fare now? Well, we'll bring in Prime, and as you can see in robot mode, he is quite a lot bigger than Prime than he was in dinosaur mode. In fact, he stands a good head and shoulders above Optimus in robot mode. And this is pretty much how they were in the cartoon series. There's a scene from Desertion of the Dinobots where Prime is thanking Grimlock for saving them. And this is literally how they scaled in the cartoon. There was quite a difference in height between the two. So that's with the SS86 Prime. Here he is with Optimus Primal. So he's quite substantial in height there. And then here he is with Metal Hawk. So as a leader class figure, he is quite big. One other comparison, obviously, I have to do with him at the end of the day is Swoop. And you can see that Swoop scales very nicely with Grimlock as well there. Now, like I said, accessories-wise, Grimlock only came with the wheelie figure and the gun. And the gun will happily go into any of Grimlock's hands. But one thing you did get with Swoop, if you got him, is you got an extra sword. And this sword is actually intended to go with Grimlock. So if you want, what you can do is you can just take this sword and stick it in his hands there, and he has a giant red blade. Now, if I'm honest, with my Grimlock, I tend to display him with, oddly enough, the weapons that I have for my Fall of Cybertron Grimlock, but I don't have them to hand at the moment. I packed them up in a box because he was on Dino mode on the shelf, but they go really, really well with this figure as well. So, is SS Grimlock worth getting? And the answer is absolutely. This is a really great figure. It's got tons of articulation, lots of nice molded detail. The dinosaur mode is very nostalgic, to say the least, as well, because it's an older version of how we thought dinosaurs looked compared to the more modern version. I mean, if you're a Grimlock guy, then yeah, this is definitely going to be a figure you want. If you're a dinosaur guy, then this is definitely going to be a figure that you're going to want. And if you're just a general Transformers collector, again, this is a really good figure to have. Now, it has been re-released a couple of times. We've had a G2 version, and there is also the infamous Godzilla version of this figure as well. But you can still probably find this guy online on eBay. I'm not sure how much it would cost you, but if he's at a decent price, I would strongly recommend getting him because he is just such a nice figure. The transformation process is very, very easy. The figure's got, like I say, got lots of articulation, lots of nice detail, and, I can't really say more than that. It is pretty much a perfect Transformers figure. So if you do like him, do go and get him. So thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Hit like, hit subscribe, and do please feel free to comment. Thank you very much.